Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news, all right, folks, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could shake up the entire AFC landscape. Rumors are swirling around the Kansas City Chiefs and their star defensive tackle, Chris Jones. Yeah, that's right. Chris Jones, one of the most disruptive forces on the interior line in the league, might be heading to the Bills. And honestly, if this deal goes down, it could be one of the most significant offseason moves we've seen in recent memory, not just for the Bills, but for the entire conference. Let's start by painting a picture of the current situation. The Chiefs, coming off a Super Bowl win just a couple of seasons ago, are now in a bit of a tricky spot. Despite their success, there's a sense that the team is facing some cracks in the armor. Patrick Mahomes is still elite, but their defense, especially on the interior, has shown signs of vulnerability, particularly after some injuries and inconsistent play. Their defensive line, which once was a dominant force, has been underperforming this season, and the numbers tell the story. Chris Jones, who has been a cornerstone for them, has been putting up solid stats: 4 sacks in 13 games, pressure rates that are among the best for interior linemen, and a PFF pass rush grade of 90. 4. That's top tier. But the Chiefs are in a bit of a cap crunch with just $8 million in cap space and a hefty $28 million hit for Jones in 2026. Here's the kicker. According to league insiders and reports from Rossini, the Chiefs are open to trading Chris Jones to free up cap space, especially as they look to rebuild their offensive line, which has struggled this year with a PFF grade of just 60. 2. They're eyeing picks, prospects, and cap relief. The idea is to bolster a line that's allowed 24 points per game, which is middle of the road, but not enough for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. They're also considering extensions for players like rookie cornerback McDuffie, which could further strain their cap room. But what's really intriguing is the potential impact on the Bills if this deal happens. Now, let's shift to the Bills' side, because this isn't just about the Chiefs losing a star. It's about how the Bills could benefit immensely. Buffalo's defense, especially the defensive line, has been playing some of its best football, but they've still got room to grow. After losing Ed Oliver for a stretch due to injury, the front line has been a bit inconsistent. However, with Oliver back and the possibility of adding Chris Jones, suddenly the Bills' interior becomes a nightmare for opposing offenses. Jones, who played at Mississippi State, is a disruptor. Think Quinnen Williams, but even more consistent. His impact in 2025 with the Chiefs was significant. 4 sacks in 13 games, 35 pressures, 12 QB hits, and a PFF pass rush grade of 90. 4. He's a game wrecker, capable of collapsing pockets and freeing up the linebackers and secondary to do their thing. For the Bills, adding Jones would be a game changer, especially in the context of the playoff push. Buffalo's defense has been solid overall, with a PFF grade of 77. 5. But after losing Carter to injury in December, they've struggled a bit against the run, allowing an average of 145 yards per game after Carter's injury, and their pass rush has lost some of its edge. The addition of Jones would inject a much-needed boost, an interior presence that can consistently pressure the quarterback, disrupt plays in the backfield, and help the secondary lock down opposing receivers. This move could push Buffalo into that top-tier defensive category, joining teams like the 2023 Eagles, who elevated their trenches with Hargrave, transforming the front line into an elite unit. When you think about the scenario, it's pretty clear that a trade for Chris Jones would elevate the Bills to a whole new level of dominance. Their front would suddenly be a nightmare for any offensive line. It's not just about the sacks. Though Jones's 4 sacks in 13 games in 2025 show what he can do, it's about the pressure he applies, forcing quick throws and creating turnovers. And with the Bills already boasting a talented secondary, including Tre'Davious White and Micah Hyde, the team could really lock down opponents and suffocate their run games. We saw in Week 4 how the Bills were able to contain Derrick Henry, holding him to just 150 yards, but adding Jones could make that kind of performance a standard, not an exception. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The Bills are currently sitting at 9-4, fighting for playoff seeding. Their defense, especially against the run, needs that extra punch. Their ability to dominate third downs, currently holding teams to around 20% success, is a real strength, but adding a player like Jones could elevate that even further. Imagine the possibilities: more sacks, more pressure, forcing turnovers, and turning games into blowouts. The Bills' chances of winning big games and making a deep playoff run would skyrocket. Now, looking ahead to the playoffs, the Super Bowl odds reflect just how much of a difference this could make. Currently, Bills fans are looking at odds around plus 1,500, but with a player like Chris Jones in the mix, those odds could improve significantly, potentially dropping to plus 850 or even better. Jones would be the ultimate X-factor in cold, snowy playoff conditions, much like his impact in Kansas City's Super Bowl run a few years back. His ability to wreck OLs, especially against top-tier teams like the Chiefs, would be invaluable. In fact, his presence could make matchups against teams like the Rams in 2021 look even more lopsided, boosting the Bills' chances of dominating in the AFC and beyond. From a strategic standpoint, this move signals a clear message. The Bills are not just content being good. They want to be titans, rulers of the trenches, and perennial contenders. Josh Allen's signature is his dual-threat ability, but for him to succeed consistently, he needs a fortress up front. Adding Jones would turn that fortress into a concrete bunker, making it almost impossible for opposing defenses to get to him. That, in turn, opens up more options in the passing game, allowing Allen to unleash those deep throws and extend drives. It's a recipe for sustained success, especially in playoff-like situations where every yard counts. Of course, every big move comes with questions. Will the Bills be willing to part with their draft capital? How will the Chiefs handle trading away a player of Jones's caliber? And what about the salary cap implications? Well, considering that the Chiefs might be looking to shed around $22 million in cap space, there's definitely room to maneuver. The Bills could offer a combination of picks and a prospect or two, maybe a mid-round pick and a young player to make the deal work. And for Buffalo, the potential reward outweighs the risk. Adding a player of Chris Jones's caliber could be the final piece they need to clinch another Super Bowl appearance. The ripple effects would be felt across the AFC. Other contenders would have to reconsider their strategies. The Chiefs, who are currently at 6-7 and sitting with a cap crunch, might be looking to rebuild or retool, especially on defense. Their secondary, allowing 24 points per game, could be exposed even more without Jones disrupting plays from the inside. Meanwhile, the Bills would ascend into a new echelon of defensive dominance, pairing their already strong unit with a disruptive force that multiplies their chances in January and February. And let's talk about the AFC East for a moment. If the Bills pull off this move, it's not just about winning their division, it's about asserting dominance. The Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets would all be feeling the heat, knowing that Buffalo is now even more formidable. The Jets, boosted by their recent trade for Quinnen Williams, already have a strong interior presence, but adding Jones to the mix would make their matchup against Buffalo a true trench war. The Dolphins, who have been relying on their explosive offense, would have their defense tested even more. It's a game-changer for the division and could redefine the power hierarchy for years to come. In conclusion, folks, this potential trade for Chris Jones isn't just speculation. It's a game-changer waiting to happen. The Bills have the opportunity to solidify their status as AFC contenders, especially with a dominant interior presence that can terrorize quarterbacks and shut down running games. The synergy between Jones and the Bills, existing stars like Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, could be lethal, creating a front seven that's nearly impossible to block. It's about winning now, making a statement, and building a dynasty that lasts. If this move materializes, it's going to be a game-changer. And Bills fans should be excited because this could be the move that vaults Buffalo into the elite tier of NFL powerhouses, ready to conquer the postseason and bring that coveted Lombardi trophy back to Orchard Park. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you believe Chris Jones could be the missing piece for our Super Bowl push? Would you trade some draft picks or prospects to get him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. Remember, this is a community, and your voice is what makes it special. I'll be back soon with more updates and deep dives into everything Bills related. So stay tuned and keep that passion alive. We're all in this together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for our beloved Buffalo Bills.